volleyball team in the country, the Mizzou Tigers, welcome in the undefeated Arkansas Razorbacks. And we welcome you with Katie George. I am Eric Freed. There are 4 undefeated teams left in this fall volleyball schedule in the SEC: Kentucky, Florida, Texas A&M, and Arkansas. For the first time in 17 years, the Razorbacks are off to a 4-0 start for DeBerg to carry because Missouri is without 3 players, including preseason all-conference middle Tiana Omazic with an ACL injury. Now add to the list outside Lecatora member Monet, who opted out due to COVID-19, and backup setter Jaden Newsom, who fractured a hand in practice this past weekend. So Mizzou dressing 10 against undefeated Arkansas, and the Razorbacks with the first serve of the match. And the first point goes to Arkansas. As Katie mentioned, Gillen, the go-to, 6th in the conference in kills per set. Hitting sub 200, even though Arkansas off to a 4-0 start. And the first point for Mizzou.
And I love that decision by Andrea Fuentes there to Dillon, Eric, because she was able to get blocked on the first contact to give Arkansas the point, but she goes right back to her in her second set, just to kind of build up that confidence. And obviously Dillon is very good behind the setter on that slide attack.
Arkansas getting their first taste of the DeBerg serve. Now setting for DeBerg, swing from the back, 2-1 Missouri.
We mentioned that a little bit of moments ago. DeBerg, she can obviously get kills on the outside pin. That's her home base, but they will set her anywhere on the floor.
Gillen with a little change-up. Crafty play by the sophomore to make it 2-2. Sophomore from Stillwell, Kansas, will head back to serve for Arkansas. Now she's got a pretty good hard serve. The question is, where's it going to go? And we're down, and a point for Missouri, 3-2 Mizzou. Jason Watson, the Arkansas head coach in his 5th season. You just get the feeling he really likes this group on and off the court. Of course, every coach has been praising what their players have done in this COVID era to try just to get out there, stay healthy, keep each other healthy, but really likes the makeup of this group. And the record shows that they've enjoyed what they've been able to do on the court so far, making the most of this return to play in this shortened fall schedule.
And he likes what he's seen from Devin Wheeler. She actually got the start in match 2 against Ole Miss a weekend ago, and she really took advantage of the opportunity getting the start. She was phenomenal defensively and offensively, and so they've stuck with her today.
A kill for Missouri. Gillen can't dig it out. Back and forth we go here in this opening set, playing a best of 5 in Columbia. Going to be a lot of attention on the supporting cast from Missouri here today, of course. They've got their go-tos, like you mentioned, with DeBerg. And Dixon has played very well. That short lineup for Josh Taylor. How is he going to mix and match things? Because it seemed like when we talked to him yesterday, he was still trying to put the pieces together the right way for this Missouri team. After losing those 2 tough matches to Kentucky, they were reeling a little bit. Now the personnel issues has him trying to find the right combinations.
And part of that decision, Eric, is putting Anna Dixon in the L2 spot. So this is someone we've seen attack from the right side through the first 4 games of the season. She came from Kansas State as an outside hitter, and so they've got her lined up on the outside pin for the start of this match.
Sophomore in her first year with Mizzou, averaged nearly 3 kills a set last year, which was good for 9th in the Big 12. 10th in the SEC in her first year now with the Tigers. That's going to be on the line, and a point for Arkansas.
And this is what we're talking about from a freshman outside. Look at Taylor Hudd go up, thumb down, cuts that so sharp to the line, cross court, really nice shot. Hits the defense where they're not.
Hitting over 300 through 4 matches in her freshman year. Hollingsworth Santana blocked once, and then Arkansas gets it a second time, but then Arkansas able to keep the point alive. And a good block for the Razorbacks. That's Liz Pamfield, the senior from Orlando, with the block.
Really nice job by Pamfield. Moving laterally, getting out to Taylor Head to close out that block on Anna Dixon. And so it'll be interesting to watch this Missouri offense move around and rotate, because you've got Anna Dixon taking swings on the outside as well as the right side here. And Dariana Hollingsworth Santana has come into the lineup, and she's also taking swings from both spots so far.
Good block for Mizzou. Now this is the 8th set that Hollingsworth Santana has appeared in this year. She played pretty well against Arkansas last year with 9 kills as Dixon comes out. And you see the senior from San Juan, Puerto Rico, who's played a lot of volleyball for Missouri through the years. 7-5 Mizzou in the first. Big swing and another kill for Taylor Head.
Taylor Head does a nice job seeing that this set is inside from Downing, so she comes all the way in. And if you're Anna DeCruz, you got to pick up on the fact that she's being brought so far inside. You got to press over those hands and take away that sharp cross-court angle.
Gracie Ryan tried to get the point for Arkansas, but in the end it belongs to Mizzou.
You know I like a set or dump, but you got to also know who's lined up across from you. And she's got Kylie DeBerg, who's 6'4", Gracie Ryan's 5'9".
You don't like
Maybe
your odds
wait
in that
a little
situation.
bit. No, you don't. Not mathematically.
That's going to go out. A hitting error for Missouri. And Arkansas is back within a point. Arkansas coming off a sweep of Ole Miss Sunday after winning in 4 sets Saturday at Barnhill in their home opening series, but a very quick turnaround here for Arkansas. They had the match Sunday. They had a light practice Monday. Everyone was off for Election Day. There's a service error there. So nothing happened yesterday. And then Jason Watson's team had a light workout this morning in Columbia. I'm sure he'd like a little bit more time to get ready for a top 10 team, but also there's a part of you that wants to see how your team responds with very little practice time and quick turnaround from your last match. A couple of big swings from DeBerg and a point for Mizzou.
And that's a nice job by DeBerg just adjusting in that moment. She hits it a little bit low into the block going against Gracie Ryan on the right side pin. So she swings a little bit higher and she's able to go off the top of the fingertips and tool that block well outside of the court for the kill.
A couple of kills for DeBerg, 2 for Dixon to pace Missouri. And another one for DeBerg.
Jason Watson said when Mizzou gets out of system, we really need to do a nice job managing that situation, playing great defense, digging out of it, and that's a situation where you had Claudia Dillon set up DeBerg. She would hope to be able to capitalize on that moment and results in a kill through the...
Dillon goes up the line for a point for Arkansas.
Nice response there by Joe Gillen, going high down the line. We talked about it in the open. She's 5'10", as well as Taylor Head, but gosh, they get off the ground so well. Just watch how hard she transitions and how hard she approaches to the ball.
Dug out by Ryan. Another good defensive play for Arkansas. And the quick dump over, and the point goes to Missouri. A couple good saves. Ryan and I think Head had the second one for Arkansas, but in the end, it's a point for Mizzou.
Yeah, and you're doing a great job defensively here. If you're Arkansas, you just hope in the front row you're able to spy this overpass a little bit more. Watch the trajectory of that pass, taking Fuentes tight to the net. You would have liked to see Devin Wheeler go up and contest that shot.
Well, good job for Arkansas so far. They've handled the DeBerg serve. They get a point there for Haley Durgill to bring Arkansas within 3. Good serve from Gillen. Point, Missouri.
That's a nice job siding out against a really tough server in Jill Gillen. She's one of the best servers on this Arkansas team. High risk, high reward, oftentimes. But a nice job efficiently siding out on Mizzou's side.
They serve Gillen. Head dug out there by Williamson for Missouri. Here comes DeBerg out of the back. Arkansas trying to hit it where they ain't, but good recovery by Mizzou. And that's deflected out of play, and another point for the Tigers.
Nice job by Missouri pursuing that ball there. Devin Wheeler, heads up play, trying to push it deep to the back line. But just a nice effort play by Mizzou to get that point.
Also played by Fuentes. And Missouri is the first of 15 in the first set. So far, so good. Bouncing back after the heartbreaking loss to Kentucky. Mizzou up by 6 in the first. Setback against Kentucky. First match was a battle highlighted by Kentucky taking set 2, 35-33. And really, Josh Taylor said the match was decided after that second set. Left it all on the floor. And then after that, a loss to Kentucky in 4 sets again. Really didn't have a lot of energy in those final 2 sets. And now coming out here against Arkansas, trying to get back on the winning track after winning opening weekend to kick off SEC play. Out of the media timeout, it's a point for Arkansas.
Great swing by Taylor Head. 3 kills, 1 error so far, hitting .250. Now if you're Devin Wheeler, can you go back there and get on a run with your serve?
Good save by Gillen. Keep the point alive for Arkansas. Point for Missouri to put the Tigers back on top by 6. Missouri on the season hitting .273. Their opponents hitting at .273. Fuentes ready to serve. So far in this first set, Mizzou hitting .333 to jump out to this 16-10 lead. Blocked back and another point for the Tigers.
And that's a really nice job by Anna DeCruz, because I appreciate Gracie Ryan trying to push the middle in that situation on the 3 gap. But look at that one-on-one, great press by Anna DeCruz. A really nice job reading that perfect pass and expecting that the middle was going to be set.
DeCruz in her first year with Mizzou after transferring from UAB. I'll give a much-needed point to Arkansas. Durgill with a service error. You can't give any points away to the team that's ranked 9th in the country if you're going to hang in this on the road and you're Arkansas. Durgill will come out and Downing will come in.
Jason Watson wants his team to serve aggressively to force Missouri out of system, and with that often comes errors when you're trying to go hard from the service line.
DeBerg gets another kill. That one heads out of play, and Missouri stretched it out to 8.
Nice dig up, good set in tempo, and look how high she's contacting that ball. She's contacting it at the tip of the antenna. She goes cross court. And you got to see Arkansas start to make a little bit more defensive plays here if they're going to close this gap 19-11.
All right, so more defensive plays. That just cues me to say it's time to see KG's keys. And let's start with Arkansas. They're down by 8. They're huddled up right now. Give them to me, Katie.
Well, number one, they got to force Mizzou out of system more than they have. It starts with that serve, but Arkansas needs to capitalize on the opportunities when Mizzou is out of system, whether that's at the net or in transition. They cannot let Mizzou tip or roll out of system situations. So capitalize there. And then Jason Watson said he wants a big performance from his libero, Lauren Evans. The first ball contact has to be good, so Arkansas can exploit Mizzou's big block by running a fast tempo on offense. If Arkansas can get Mizzou's block just to pause for a second, that'll open up some seams for Arkansas's hitters to score. And then thirdly, be present. The third key Jason Watson wants to see is his players not get caught up in the previous play, the history of it, and he doesn't want his team worrying about the play that's coming next. Instead, he wants his team to have a mature approach to being present mentally for long periods of time.
Against a program where they've lost 10 in a row in the series. So Missouri's controlled this head-to-head series with Arkansas. What do they need to do tonight to keep this run going?
They need to continue to attack from the service line, serve aggressively so that first contact forces Arkansas out of system to make their dynamic offense more one-dimensional. Then they need to manage the pins on the out-of-system balls. Once they do that, Joshua Taylor wants his blockers to be disciplined. The goal is to keep Arkansas's pin hitters attacking below 200 when in out-of-system situations, and then side-out efficiency. Thirdly, Mizzou just wants to side out at a higher clip. The Tigers were able to side out 55% against Kentucky a week ago, which Joshua Taylor says isn't going to cut it. He wants to see that number about 60% tonight.
They set DeBerg. Gillen with a dig. Long point continues. Quick set and out of play, and the point to the Razorbacks.
And I appreciate the set from Fuentes trying to get Anna DeCruz involved. You've got so many sets going to Kylie DeBerg and Anna Dixon because they're such powerful, efficient hitters. You do want to open up that middle a little bit more to spread out your offense. Unfortunately, there it just results in a tip that goes too far wide.
Quick set and the kill for Mizzou. And a side out for the Tigers.
But I like that from Fuentes. You see, as soon as one of her hitters makes a mistake, Eric, she goes right back to him on that next play to build their confidence back up. If you're a hitter, you love that because sometimes setters will go away from you for a couple of points after you make a mistake. Not Fuentes. I appreciate that about her game.
Fuentes with another set. Arkansas bumps it over. And a tight set at the net. And net violation. Or stepping under the net was Arkansas. So Missouri stretches it out here in the first set. Well, everybody uses the analogy for other sports, Katie, and you were a setter and a great setter at Louisville. And I think we may have
5-1 system, running the show by herself, and she does a nice job with her decisions, enforcing the middle in tight situations, even when she's far off the net. And so you need to see both of these setters really try to involve their middles here. I think whatever side gets their middles going is going to have an advantage moving forward.
And, of course, this goes without saying. You want your setters to be the smartest player on the floor, right? I mean, that's just by default. Setters are.
You want all your players to be as smart as possible. But, I mean, the setter is the one in the position making the decisions, right? So they're kind of the quarterback on the floor or the point guard. And so you do want them visually to be able to see a whole lot of the game in terms of reading. But also they have to have the intangibles of feeling what's happening out on the court emotionally. Do I have a player that's getting hot? Do I need to continue to feed her? Or is this somebody that maybe we stick away from in a matchup? Like, those are the things that setters have going on in their mind, and it's a lot to take on, for sure.
A great dig and a great save by Mizzou. And blocked back, and a great point for the Tigers closing in on a set 1 win. I only said that thing about you being the smartest person on the team, so your former teammates would just start texting you and say, what did he say? Come on, that's like...
Yeah, I don't think they would agree with you whatsoever. And this is just a great defensive play. I love that from Fuentes, getting under with the pancake, and DeBerg coming off to send it over, and then cherry on top with the big block.
DeBerg spends so much of her time soaring in the air above the net that she got down to court level to keep that point alive.
So smart.
And what were we saying about smart setters, right? Is that? Thank you, Fuentes. Right on cue.
I love the 2-shoot, especially when a setter's back row. Look, Arkansas's defense starting to back up to get in their defensive positions. She sends it over on a 2-shoot. Nobody expects it. Easy point.
That one, Gillen tried to get out there for the pancake, could not, and it is set point for Mizzou. Arkansas has used their 2 timeouts. So Missouri on a run right now, 5-0 run, trying to close out set 1. That's deflected out of play, and Arkansas stays alive in this first set.
Here's a situation. Arkansas is not going to win set 1 here based on the gap that you see in the score. But can you go back there and can you rattle off just a couple of points from your serve? Can you get something going, just a few points offensively to build some momentum for set 2?
DeBerg with the kill to put it away, and Mizzou rolls in set 1. Arkansas got Missouri out of system. I mean, they had some opportunities to try to turn the tide, it seemed, but they just could not put any kind of run together in that first step.
No, and that's step 1, right? Getting the other team out of system. But then step 2 is setting up a block and setting up your defense behind that and expecting what's to come. And with Kylie DeBerg, she's so lethal from wherever she is on the court. It makes that really difficult.
So Arkansas gets the first point of the second set. Jill Gillen had 3 kills in the first hit 167. Head with 4 kills at 214. Let's see how Arkansas responds. And Gillen a little trouble controlling the serve. And Mizzou gets a quick side out.
We wanted to start the match at 1 anyways. That's how we had it planned, Derek.
Is that what Jill's saying? Is that her argument? Is her that? I don't know if that defense is going to fly with the coaching staff. Head. Well, killed right through the block of Arkansas, and a point for Mizzou.
And there again, she's always a threat no matter where she is on the court. They go to her in the back row on a pipe there. Gets her 7th kill, hitting 500.
And there's Head winding up and putting it away for another kill.
Nice job by Gracie Ryan, pushing the tempo, making the Mizzou block. Just pause just for a second so Taylor Head's able to push that ball to the seam.
That's going to go out, and Arkansas is on top 3-2. Let's talk about Taylor Head a little bit more, because one thing that Jason Watson pointed out is that she's just a good volleyball player. I mean, we've seen her fly and get some kills. She's the Freshman of the Week and the SEC one-time award winner, but just a good volleyball player, meaning just she's got a knack for the game. She's a student of the game. She's in the gym all the time, and she just loves the sport. I mean, you put it together, and you brought in a kid who you expect to have an impact on day one, and she has had an impact right from day one.
And that gives you confidence that what you're doing from a recruiting standpoint at Arkansas is working and it's right. Who you expected to come into your program and perform actually is. When that comes to fruition, you can pat yourself on the back, and that's what they can do with Taylor Head at this moment. She's had a really good start to her freshman career here at Arkansas.
Mizzou gets a kill. Gillen couldn't handle it. Four, 3 Missouri, up a set as we play the second. Fuentes. Missed the mark. Service error, Missouri. That's their second service error, and we're tied at 4. Durgill. Gillen's got this one. Head steps in to get it. Saved by Mizzou. Diving play made by DeBerg. That one's tipped out of play. The point goes to Arkansas.
Really nice job by Taylor Head, just managing the trash, right? She's an out of system in 2 different spots in that play, having to come and work all the way in, well inside the court on the 10-foot line swinging. She just controls it, manages it, goes high hands off the tool of the block there. Really nice job by her, keeping that play alive.
To get her 6th block of the match. That may have been going out. I think you heard the Arkansas side say out, but Gillen couldn't pull her hands back fast enough. She touched it last, and the point goes to Mizzou. So Hollingsworth Santana is going to get more time with the shorthanded Mizzou team. Trying to piece things together here as this fall season winds down.
And that's the luxury of picking up a couple of transfers in the offseason, and Anna Dixon as well as Anna DeCruz, and then also having some depth, right, Eric? You've got somebody who opts out because of COVID-19, who is a great ball control kid and an option in the front row. You have some injuries as well to one of your best middle blockers in Tiana Omazic. And so you have depth. If you're Joshua Taylor, you have to have confidence in the fact that you can go down the line and put someone else in and still be just as productive.
These 2 teams will meet again tomorrow in Columbia. Then it'll be a bye week for Mizzou before they'll close out their fall schedule at Ole Miss November 20th and 21st. So it goes by quickly here in the fall. That's last touch by Missouri, and Arkansas has got a lead here in the second.
And you need more of that if you're Arkansas. They got Mizzou out of system. Kylie DeBerg has to take a roll shot. They're able to dig out of it and get Gracie Ryan in system. She pushes it to the outside to Jill Gillen, and it's an easy kill.
Now Taylor Head serving up aces. She's just showing you the entire toolkit right now.
She serves, she passes, she digs, she gets kills, she terminates, she does it all. And that is to your point about just being a good volleyball player all the way around.
Another kill for DeBerg. That's 8 to lead all players in this match.
Nice in-system pass. Pushed all the way to the antenna. She cuts it back cross court. Too much muscle to be able to handle for Lauren Evans.
Feed DeBerg again. Evans has this one. Blocked out of play, and Mizzou is tied it at 8.
Smart shot there by Jill Gillen, going to the off blocker to take Kylie DeBerg out of that play. Unfortunately, she doesn't square up on that block. You have Hollingsworth Santana able to muscle it through.
Good save attempt by Arkansas, but it's another point for DeBerg. Well, obviously, you talked about it right at the top of the show, Katie, that DeBerg is the go-to. The numbers all play it out, and her performance over her career playing for Missouri. You know where they're going, but what else will Missouri need if they're able, Arkansas, to take DeBerg out of the match?
We got to produce from other places, right? And I would turn immediately to Anna Dixon, and I would turn to your middle blockers of trying to get them going, feeding them. And right now you see Hollingsworth, Santana get the kill there. DeBerg carries such a big load for this Mizzou offense. They know where the ball is going to go, and rightfully so because she is so efficient with getting kills. But you've got to be able to bring on some other attackers to kind of balance your offense out a little bit so defenses can't set up easily as blockers.
Gillen gets the swing and the point for Arkansas.
Well off the net there. Nice job pushing it back in tempo. Going high hands off of Claudia Dillon there in the middle. Tooling the block well outside the court.
Head with 6 kills, Gillen with 5 to lead Arkansas. Diving play by Ryan to get there for the Razorbacks. DeBerg floats in the air and drops it down for Mizzou.
And that's the tricky part when you go against somebody who has such power in the way that they attack. You're expecting this to get blown up in your platform, and then she just goes high hand there and tips it into the donut. Really hard to defend when you've got someone like Kylie DeBerg with all that power mixing up her shots. Really nice job by Gracie Ryan there, showing that she wanted to set that ball, enticing Mizzou to reach over for the block. Easy point for Arkansas. That goes to Gracie Ryan for a heads-up play.
Arkansas really could use a bit of a run here, maybe a service run for Ryan to try to turn things in their favor in this match, down 1-0, but hanging tough here in the second set. Ryan dives in to save the point. Back-to-back points for the Razorbacks and tied at 11. Arkansas finally putting together a little run here to go in front here in set 2.
And Kylie DeBerg is going to get her kills. Everybody knows that when they come in, when they read their scouting report. It's can you manage everyone else? And they've been able to hold Anna Dixon to just 6 kills, which was her total in set 1. And they've been able to block a few balls. That one goes long outside of the court there. And they've been able to make a couple of digs. And that's why you see the score where it's at. We're neck and neck here in set 2. A good response by Arkansas when they reset after set 1.
Arkansas has played well from behind this season. Their opening series, they won 2 5-set matches at Mississippi State. Arkansas is back in front here. They fell behind 1-0 in match 1, 2-0 in match 2, and Jason Watson's team actually faced 5 match points in the third set in match 2. Came back to win both those matches against the Bulldogs. To Katie's point, getting digs, getting some blocks, staying in points, not this time.
Oh, and you hate that if you're Jill Gill in middle back. A phenomenal dig, sticks in there, passes it right on top of Gracie Evans' head, and unfortunately you have a miscommunication in the middle with Devin Wheeler. So you can't capitalize on that moment. Makes for an easy kill for Anna Dixon on the other side.
That one's going to go long, and Arkansas is back in front by 1. I think like Jill Gill just should be her name. It just, instead of Jillian Gillen or Jill Gillen, Jill Gill just sounds right. Like all time. Just the one
sharp,
just the one
phonetically,
word.
Easy to say. I love it. Make up t-shirts. Get it going.
Jill Gill couldn't get it over the net that time, and we're tied at 14. Missouri won set 1, 25-13, hit 324 in that set. They're still hitting well in this second set at 300, but it's been much improved from the Arkansas point of view, hitting at 222. And that will give a point to Arkansas, the lead to the Razorbacks, and it gets us to our media timeout. Second set, Razorbacks trying to battle back. Starting to feel a little normal.
Just better when every family member has a seat at the table, right?
We got plenty to go around. Plenty of love for college football and college sports to go around. Hearn Center in Columbia. Eric Freed, Katie George, and our crew here on a Wednesday night. Mizzou and Arkansas. Arkansas 4-0, one of four 4-0 teams in the SEC in this fall schedule. Missouri, the latest national poll, holding tight at 9th in the country. They won the first set 25-13, but Arkansas has played much better in this second set. What's been the biggest part of the turnaround in your eyes in this second set for the Razorbacks, KG?
Well, I think first off, they're passing better. So they're in system more often to be able to run their offense to its efficiency, and they're also making a lot of digs in defense. Haley Durgel had a nice couple of serves there. You hate to see her miss because she's got one of the best on the team between her and Jill Gill. It really puts the opposing passers on the ropes. But right now you've seen a nice response from this Arkansas team. You go down 25-12. You hope to see some kind of competition come out, and we're seeing that right now.
It was a modest 3-0 run, but it was good for Arkansas, and then they try to build on another one as they go back to the freshman, and Head shoots it up the line, and I think Missouri's going to challenge this one that was right in front of their bench.
And you saw Josh Taylor immediately ask his players, was there a touch on that ball? And you see them shake their head, so it gives him the confidence to pull out the green card for the challenge.
So they can look to see if there was a touch, but also was it in or out? Looked very close and right in front of the Missouri bench. So as they go to the replay system in the Hearn Center, we will take a look, probably first and foremost, if there was a touch. And that's what Katie just referenced, just getting the feedback from your players.
And so the question is, does it hit Dariana Hollingworth Santana's outside right hand there?
You can see her bringing her arms down and her hand down just as the ball was getting to her hand, but it's so tough to tell on these touch plays.
And the question is, they're looking at the same video we are, so do you have enough evidence to overturn the play based on what you're seeing? This is a big point too, Eric, because we talked about it with Josh Taylor's team. He wants to see them side out efficiently. That number needs to be over 60% of the points that we're seeing. And right now you've seen Arkansas go on 2 serving runs, and they haven't been able to side out immediately. And so if this goes in Arkansas's favor, can they continue to serve well and keep Missouri out of system? That's big. So the call is overturned, ruled out, no touch. It's going to be Missouri's point, 2-point game.
So it was in Taylor's favor, but he still had a little bit more of a conversation with the official. Now Jason Watson wants to make his own points. Bottom line, it's 17-16 in favor of Arkansas. Set it for Head.
So this looks like a kill for Arkansas. And they've called it out. Missouri's point.
So it must have hit the antenna.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I didn't see it on that replay.
Not much of a protest from Arkansas on the play. So Mizzou tied it up at 17, and now they're in front 18-17. Now a timeout is going to be called here as Missouri has gone in front thanks to a 4-0 scoring run to battle back against Arkansas. As they huddle up, I can tell you that MLS Decision Day is Sunday. It's the regular season finale, so that means all 26 teams are playing. Eastern Conference matches start at 3:30 Eastern Time. The West game start at 6:30 Eastern Time, 3:30 Pacific. Union take on the Revs on ABC. Philly looking to lock up the top seed in the East. New England trying to lock down the 6th seed. We'll also have coverage of the most important matches on ESPN+. So download the app or go to ESPNplus.com. So Missouri, after taking set 1 25-13, they fell behind by 3 here in this second set, 17-14. You know, this was where the predictions kind of played out. Kentucky was very impressive against Missouri last week, winning those 2 road matches at Hearns and the All-SEC team. Well, it was Kentucky being well represented in the weekly awards in the SEC this week with Ali Stumbler, the Offensive Player of the Week, had 21 kills and then 22 kills back-to-back matches against Mizzou. Madison Lilly, the SEC Player and Setter of the Week with 98 assists versus Mizzou. But, of course, the makeup of this Missouri team is much, much different now with the loss for the season of Omazic.
Yeah, and it's a huge loss. She tore ACL in a heartbreaking way against Kentucky in the first meeting. And this is a girl that is a phenomenal defensive player from a blocking standpoint, and she was set in all forms and fashion out of the middle. And so you can already feel a difference in the fact that we've seen 8 attempts by Fuentes to her middles. So that's a work in progress for this Missouri team of building up those relationships, the chemistry there in the middle with Anna DeCruz and now Claudia Dillon, who's the sophomore that's come in for Tiana Omazic in her absence.
Well, as you saw, Omazic was preseason all-conference. She was all-SEC last year after hitting .386. That was 4th in the conference. And Josh Taylor said, I think this year she was going to be an All-American. That's what he thought her game, where it was, and what they were going to do with her in the Missouri attack. But those plans all get changed in just an instant. So we hope for the best for her in her recovery and the long road back.
Well, the saving grace, too, to mention is that all of these girls get another year of eligibility because of COVID-19. And so now she can rehab, and if she chooses to do so, she has another year waiting for her to be able to play again.
19-18 Mizzou, and they add to it.
Nice finesse there by Hollingsworth Santana. A little crafty cut shot to zone 2. Off blocker sucks in behind the block underneath to pick up the tip. She sees that they're out of place, cuts it over there, drops it in. Really nice job there.
But Katie, she's got 6 kills here so far tonight. Service error for Missouri. She had 4 kills in 7 total sets in the first 2 weeks of the season for Mizzou. So the senior making the most of her opportunity, getting more playing time here for Mizzou in this reconfigured lineup for the Tigers. Gillen resets and gets the kill out of play. Last touch by Mizzou.
Great resiliency you're seeing from Arkansas. They were up by a couple of points. Missouri goes on a 5-0 run. You wonder mentally, will they be able to respond to that? They called a timeout. And you've seen 2 points here to tie it up at 20. 5-point game.
Chance here to go in front. And Gillen makes it happen.
And I give that point to Gracie Ryan. If you heard her, she was calling her DS off of that ball, wanting to set up Gillen on the outside. I love that kind of leadership and saying, get out of my way. The second touch is mine. I've got the confidence to put her up high and put her in a position to get the kill, and she did just that.
And another kill from Hollingsworth Santana.
What a performance we've seen from her. It's one thing to come in because of an injury and an opt-out and just be a placeholder, but she's gone well above that. 7 kills. We've seen a couple of tips from her, some nice blocks, great cross-court shots, and then, of course, a nice server.
DeBerg. Fuentes. Arkansas was ready for it, but they couldn't recover in time to stop DeBerg.
That's the unfortunate part. Fuentes goes up to dump it. Arkansas actually spies it and reads it well. They just can't get there in time to pull it off of the net. The overpass results in an easy setup for Kylie DeBerg.
And an ace. Hollingsworth Santana continues her inspired play to help Missouri. 2 points now from taking set 2.
All smiles,
she's a senior.
high fives,
she's a senior.
I love it.
Katie, she's played a ton in her career. Like, you know, she comes up like, yeah, I've been here before. I've done this before. I'm ready to do this some more. Like, she's game face.
You know,
they're trying to celebrate. She's game face.
She is, and I appreciate that because listen to this. So often you have people later on in their careers that, you know, new people come in, maybe better suited to play more minutes, to play more plays, and so you become a serving sub, and that's what we've seen from her in the last.
At 3:53 and continuing this service run here. So in set 1, it was all Mizzou. They won 25-13, hit 324, just 3 ties and 1 lead change. Arkansas has been hanging around. They led 21-20 here in the second set, but now this 3-0 run led by Hollingsworth Santana as Missouri trying to close in on taking set 2 out of the Arkansas timeout. Tipped out of play, point for Arkansas. They needed that.
Huge side out by Arkansas. What are you going to do in response? A great pass right on top of Gracie Ryan's head. She sets Jill Gillen just off the net enough so that she can tool, she can hit down the line, or she can hit cross court, whatever she wants to do with it. That is a big time side out by Arkansas.
Gracie Ryan serves. Fuentes gets the point. Set point, Missouri.
So you know that you've got a front row setter in this moment for 3 rotations. You've got to be able to spy and recognize that, hey, if any pass or dig gets pushed tight, you got to look for the dump first.
DeBerg serving for set 2. DeBerg digs out. Gillen couldn't drop it in. DeBerg back line. Great fight by Arkansas to stay in this set. And then it's dumped over. Back-to-back kills for Fuentes, and Missouri comes back to take set number 2. Arkansas is up 17-14 and 21-20, but Mizzou battles back up 2-zip.
Late in that second set, and they took a lead, 2 points here, 1 point there. And I thought that Missouri did a really nice job staying cool, calm, and collected in that moment, sticking in, siding out when they needed to, and they went on that 5-0 run late, right before both teams tied it up at 20. That was huge. And so you got to think, if you're Josh Taylor, you like the response just in terms of facing a little bit of adversity in set 2, how his team came out and they builded upon it from a week ago when they played Kentucky, because he said, look, you could look at some of our players, they'd make a mistake. You could tell it was getting in their head. You look across the net, Allie Stumler, she'd make a mistake. You couldn't tell whatsoever. She was able to handle it and move on. And so he wanted to see that from Kylie DeBerg. He wanted to see that from Anna Dixon and company. And I think that they really did a nice job of that in set 2, just staying calm and collected, relying on their pass and their defense to get them out of that moment to take set 2.
So now Arkansas facing some adversity, but that's nothing new for this Razorback team. We mentioned earlier at Mississippi State, they fell behind 2 sets to none, came back, fought off 5 match points in the third set, and the Razorbacks won in 5. So that's got to be the message on the Arkansas side. We've done this before. We've been in this position before. Let's do it again. Now, to be fair, Missouri is a top 10 team. They've got Kylie DeBerg with big swings. Ready for it there as we start set 3. Tried DeBerg again, and Missouri gets the first point.
Certainly a taller task, taking Mizzou, a top 10 team, to 5 sets. But you start with this one. Can you pull up a gritty, competitive response after dropping the first 2? It's going to rely heavily on the shoulders of Jill Gillen and that girl right there, Taylor Head. It can be done.
Gets the ace.
But you got to be able to pass extremely well in serve receive, and you got to be able to play defense in transition.
DeBerg gets her 7th ace of the season. Durgel. That one's going to miss the mark. Dillon with the hitting error, and Arkansas has a side out their first point of the 3rd set.
And that's a nice run by Andrea Fuentes, going to Claudia Dillon on the slide behind her. She's great and explosive off of 1 foot, just sends that a foot too long.
Well, I think we've seen that play before.
A time or 2.
Fuentes is just going to keep going to the well until it's dry, but it's been working for her.
And this is the frustrating part, because it's tricky as a 5'9" setter, but heads up by her to get as many kills as she has. You gotta think that Arkansas has talked about this in their huddles during timeouts and between sets, that you gotta have a better eye on the setter, that when she's active and throwing down, somebody's gotta be up and jump with her across the net to contest.
Point for the Razorbacks. Fuentes sets this one. Blocked back by Arkansas. Point for Mizzou.
And that's the luxury of having someone like Kylie DeBerg that you can set in all situations. No matter where the dig or the pass takes you, however far behind the 10-foot line or outside the court, if you can just bump set it or throw it up to the middle of the court and find Kylie DeBerg, who can actually get you a kill in all situations, that is an unbelievable advantage in college volleyball.
There's communication for Arkansas. The point goes to Mizzou, up 5-2. DeBerg, all conference the last 2 seasons, 949 kills in the last 2 years combined. Now, of course, we have a shortened fall schedule. We don't really know for sure officially what the spring will look like, so you're not going to be able to have the volume. But DeBerg's been pretty effective here tonight against Arkansas. Razorbacks get that point. DeBerg into double figures with 15 kills, hitting .361. Pamfield comes back for Arkansas.
And I love that run by Arkansas. You have to stay calm in this moment. You have to get a response of some sort. Running your middle is a really good option with Liz Pamfield up there. That was textbook on the quick set.
Hammered down by Dixon.
And so in that moment, you see Haley Durgel get sucked in just a little bit off of the outside line. If she could stay a foot or 2 back, heavy into the cross court, maybe she can make that dig. But right now, it's hard when you're playing somebody as good as Anna Dixon. You think that they're just going to bomb it to the middle of the court when really they go hard angles. Staying back on that outside line will put her in better position to make that dig.
Well, Taylor Head has kept her great play of her young college career going here against Mizzou. Head now with 8 kills. This is a great challenge for the freshman to go up against Mizzou as the Tigers get a point.
And Jason Watson had mentioned to us in our coaches' calls in preparation for this match that he wanted his team to be present, to not worry about the past mistake or the point before, because that's long history. You can't change history, and not worry about the point that's coming, right? Because that's a part of your imagination. He wanted his team to communicate, be present for every single point, and do their best, rather than worrying about what just took place or what's going to happen down the line. And I think that's key here in set 3. If you're going to force this thing into multiple sets.
Right now down 7-5. Gillen at Fuentes. Kept it alive for Mizzou. DeBerg winds up. Fuentes with the back set and the kill. Another one for Hollingsworth Santana.
And that was a great dig by Lauren Evans on the other side, keeping that play alive, but you have to throw it over in a free ball situation. Great set by Fuentes all the way to the antenna. It was a one-on-one for Hollingsworth Santana. She cuts across court and seam.
26 assists now for Fuentes as we play here in the third. Gillen gets the kill. She's in the double figures now with 10. Trying to keep Arkansas in touch here in this third set. Gracie Ryan ready to serve. Point for Arkansas.
And I like the thought to get the middle involved, but that's 2 errors we've seen from Dillon on the slide behind. So that's just something because they don't have their star in Tiana Omazic that they're just going to have to continue to work on in practice and build up that relationship and rapport.
Well, they have the co-star Kylie DeBerg. When they need the point, they get it as DeBerg gets another kill. That will get her up to 16. And an ace.
That is such an unbelievable serve. Okay, she's 6'4", so she's contacting it so high and at a different vantage point than what you're used to. But that's like a back row attack. Did you see how quickly that ball dropped?
Another one.
Jeez.
That's got to be the feeling on the serve, Kate. Like when you get into a rhythm on a serve and you feel like it's going to go wherever you want, like she's doing time and again right now against Arkansas. Arkansas is going to need a timeout just to cool her off. I mean, they got to get her off the line. They got to get her thinking about something else than what she's been doing right now, because she is unstoppable.
That she is. If you're the opposing team, you just hope she comes out, puts too much on it, and misses on this next one. 3 aces. And
didn't want to spend too much time in that timeout. She's like, just give me the ball. I'm ready to serve. 3 straight aces. Make it 4. Make it 4.
And that is wild. I appreciate the timeout. You want to ice her. You want to get her out of rhythm. But that takes a mental wherewithal to come right back out and deliver another ace. And that's what you would hope for if you're Arkansas. Just let us out of it, please. Let us out of our misery.
Put the net in front of that, because that's the only way to stop it. So she rattled off 4 straight aces to put Missouri on top, 13-8.
Now, Arkansas, you've got some work to do. Can you respond with the run of your own? We know Jill Gill's their best server. Value this possession. Keep the serve. That's a nice job by Gracie Ryan. She's on the 10-foot line, gets it all the way out into the antenna for Haley Durgel. Good job by Durgel managing that set, cutting it back cross court.
Gillen up to 290 hitting. She came in hitting 175 in the season, so she's been efficient against Mizzou. And another point for Arkansas. So after that service run by DeBerg, good response here by Arkansas to stay in touch here in the third set, down 2 sets.
Absolutely huge block there. That's 2 points off of Gillen's serve. Can you rattle off one more and then another to close the margins here, to wipe out those aces from Durgel?
That point goes to Mizzou.
That's a nice job by Devin Wheeler, closing out the block here. With Haley Durgel, they're in position. It's just for Devin Wheeler. She's not quite pressed over in time, and that's why you see Anna Dixon get that kill.
9th kill for Dixon. Head, crafty play by the freshman. to drop it in to give Arkansas the point.
Heads-up play by Head, knowing that you've got Claudia Dillon coming off the serve, coming up to play defense. If you're Mizzou, you're like, Claudia, yo, get on your horse, girlfriend. Get up under there. Make that play.
Fuentes tees up to Berg for the kill. Fuentes will head back to serve for Mizzou, up 15-11 in the third. Point for Arkansas.
Nice job there by Arkansas's block, recognizing that Anna Dixon had to come in as the off blocker to make that dig, so it took her out of the option to be able to swing. And so Fuentes had to go to the middle there. Not a lot of movement there for Arkansas's block. They stayed in position, got it done.
Durgle serves. Saved by the Razorbacks. Good dig by Durgle. Another good dig for Arkansas. And a point for the Razorbacks.
And that got hectic and chaotic on both sides. Really nice job by Arkansas in that moment, staying disciplined, keying in on the ball, and by Taylor Head seeing that overpass coming, swinging deep into the court for the kill.
That one won't drop into play. So give the point to Mizzou, up by 3 here in the third.
Good communication by Mizzou players. Anna Dixon looked like she was about to put her platform out, not knowing where she was on the court. Everyone screamed, balls out. She was able to pull off of it just in time.
Miguel Duran serves for the Tigers. Big rip by Head. Good dig, good fight, good save by the Tigers. And a block into play.
Okay, Emily Brown, the true freshman. Are you kidding me? A huge dig there out of left back. And then to come up and keep that ball alive. Right here with the one arm. Nice job by DeBerg. Get it out of the net. Great 2 plays by the true freshman libero.
Point goes to Arkansas, so Head's got the serve. That one missed on the swing from Hollingsworth Santana. Arkansas a chance to tie it up here in the third.
Free ball situation.
Good save by the Tigers. Deflected out of play. Point Arkansas. Razorbacks battling back here in the third.
Really nice job by Gracie Ryan. Everybody expects you to go outside with this one. Instead, you go back to Pamphil. She hits it deep to Fuentes. Can't get her platform on it in time.
Another point for Arkansas, and they take the lead. Great response by the Razorbacks. On that 4-ace run by DeBerg, Missouri took a 13-7 lead, but look how Arkansas shook that off, and they've come back to take a lead here in the third.
Really battling. Gritty performance thus far from the Razorbacks.
And
that's unfortunate.
Double contact for Arkansas gives a point to Mizzou, Katie.
I appreciate Ryan working her butt off to get back there. But in that moment, rather than trying to set it with 2 hands, just drop down to your platform leave the set high and inside for your attacker, because in that instance you get called for the double. Easy point there to Mizzou.
Dug out by Brown for Mizzou. Gillen puts another one away.
And you can hear it. You can hear the confidence and the passion from this Arkansas side right now. The question, Eric, is, much like we had the conversation with Josh Taylor in preparation for this game, is how will his team overcome and handle adversity? And right now you got Arkansas really pushing this Mizzou team.
Arkansas has done a great job, Katie, of staying in points here in this third set. When they fell behind, they have fought back, and now up by 2 in the third. Lauren Evans ready to serve for the Razorbacks. 4-0 to start this fall season in the SEC. When you need a point, who do you feed? Kylie DeBerg. 18th kill for DeBerg.
Nice job here by Emily Brown, just setting up her big outside. And again, in that moment, she's just going right over top of Gracie Ryan. It's not about selecting a shot down the line or cross court. You've just got DeBerg at 6'4", Gracie Ryan at 5'9". She's able to just go over top of her and place her shot deep.
Gillen.
Talk about somebody just skying and going over the block here. Gillen is not bigger than Claudia Dillon, and yet she picks over Andrea Fuentes and gets the kill. She can jump so high. She's got such great power with her legs. Great job by her, really fighting and pushing her team along to try to get this set 3.
And a service error for Arkansas brings Missouri back within a point. This set, Arkansas has been on target. After struggling in the first, they were much better in the second. Now at 5:22 here in the third to help them to this lead. Point Arkansas. Wheeler in the middle.
And that's something we haven't seen often tonight, and I'm actually surprised by it because Devin Wheeler was so effective in their 4th match of the season against Ole Miss. She had tons of kills up front in that middle position, and it's definitely an asset that I would be going to if I'm Gracie Ryan, especially late in this set 3 to close it out.
An ace for Arkansas. Timeout called by Missouri.
9 hitting errors in the first 2 sets. Now they have 0. I mean, it's a game of numbers, and when you limit the unforced errors, that's why you see the score where it's at, 22-19.
6 hitting errors this set for Missouri after 7 in the first 2 sets combined for the Tigers. So you put it together, and Arkansas's got a chance here in the third to extend this match to a 4th set. Again, we talked about Missouri. Josh Taylor wanted to see how his team would handle adversity. They did well in the second set. What will they do here in the third? Now down 22-19. Make it 23-19 as Arkansas comes out of the timeout with another point.
And so if you're Missouri on the ropes in this set, this is the worst rotation to be in because Jill Gill is by far Arkansas's best server. She serves it extremely hard and fast with a lot of float. Can she continue to put the pressure on? And that's what you hate to see. It's like high risk, high reward, right? And I thought it was so interesting talking to Jason Watson. He was like, you want a balanced portfolio, right, in your retirement account? You know, you want some solid things that you can count on, and then you can risk some things. Well, Jill Gill is our risk in terms of our financial portfolio. But right now, she gets 2 aces, gets them up by a couple of points. You'll take it, even with the error there.
Well, the serve is so key for Arkansas to have success, so they used it to stretch it out to a 23-19 lead. Missouri gets 1 point, but then Arkansas makes sure it's not back-to-back points with the side out to set point in the third. (14-6) scoring run by Arkansas.
We wondered at the start of this set 3 what they would do with their backs against the wall. Really nice answer so far.
The reset head for the set. Point Missouri.
And this is a good test if you're Missouri too. You're up 2-0 right now. You're down by 3. Yes, you could have another set waiting for you if this thing goes to 4, but you're one of the best teams in the country right now. How do you respond in this moment with your back now against the wall to close out this match?
Fuentes to serve for Mizzou. And a service error ends it and gives the set to Arkansas. After falling behind 13-7 in the third set, Jason Watson's team battles.
They know what it takes to win a 5-setter, and that's what they're going to be forced to do here, to win set 4 and force this to a 15-point game. But I was really impressed with the fearlessness you saw from them, especially after DeBerg ripped off 4 aces.
They get DeBerg on the service line to start the 4th set, but Arkansas with a quick side out.
Really nice job there, managing the serve with a great pass to Gracie Ryan. She goes to Devin Wheeler, who finds success on the quick set.
Arkansas answers with their top server, and Gillen gets an ace to start the 4th set.
I love
That's
the
her
analogies.
third.
I love the analogies, Eric, that Jason Watson used with us. He was like, it's feast or famine. Jill is our volatile stock. Like, we get a great return, but you know what? Sometimes it's great. Sometimes we might go bankrupt. Who knows? Right now, she's doing a nice job with the serve.
DeBerg gets the kill. Well, also with Gillen and her serve, he said, you know, they like to blitz when they serve. He was talking about their service philosophy, but that Jill Gill, she had a different standard just to put it into play, because what they clock her at, 50, 55 miles an hour in the gym, and she's coming in at about 48 right now. So at that velocity, you're just trying to get it into play. And as he joked around, he didn't want him to hit the cheerleaders in the back row. Keep everybody healthy and happy.
And just to put that in perspective, good servers clock in around 38 to maybe 41, 42 miles per hour. She's up into the 50s, and she said to him a couple of days ago at practice, yeah, I think I'm going to take some off, maybe take off and go to like the 45s, 48s. And he's like, yeah, I think that's actually a good idea, maybe to limit some of the errors.
Keep some of the cheerleaders safe. That's going to catch the line, and Arkansas is on top 3-2 here in the 4th. Again, we point out Arkansas has played a 5-setter. They faced 5 set points, 5 match points against Mississippi State on the road. Came back to win that 3rd set against the Bulldogs and go on to win in 5. So they have faced adversity. You can sense the momentum building for Arkansas here in Missouri. A little doubt creeping in here for the Tigers after things came so easy for Mizzou, as you see what Arkansas has done this season.
I think that's a great point by you. You can hear the momentum just in the voices on either side. Another big-time block by Liz Pamphil. Great job there, closing out on the outside pin. And so the question is, when you can sense the momentum is on the other side, who's going to step up for Missouri? Not in terms of production, but in terms of the vocal leader. Who's going to calm everyone down in this moment and get them back on track?
There's your answer right there.
And that calms you to a degree because she gets the kill. But I would like to see Kylie DeBerg a little bit more vocal, a little bit more emotional. And that's something that Josh Taylor says he's been talking a lot with her about. Hey, you are by far our best player. Because you're our best player, I need even more from you in terms of leadership and being the voice that everyone relies on when the going gets tough.
Missouri a chance for back-to-back points, and they get it with the swing from Dixon.
And it would be wise if you're Andrea Fuentes to get Anna Dixon going again. She had a phenomenal start to this match in set 1 with 6 kills, but she's since gone a little bit quiet. Can you get her going on the outside pin and then again on the right side pin when she switches over in a couple rotations.
Another good swing for the freshman from Winter Garden, Florida, Taylor Head, who already has one SEC Freshman of the Week award to her credit, playing for the Razorbacks. Trying to make her case for another one here. 13 kills so far, 11 digs, 5 double-doubles in as many matches for Arkansas for Taylor Head. Easy pickings there for Mizzou to get the point right back.
Another nice swing cross-court by Anna Dixon in that moment. She picks up 2 quick kills before checking out.
Manuel Duran will put it into play for Mizzou. Missouri cruise in set 1, 25-13. Set 2, 25-22 after falling behind in that set. And after taking a comfortable lead in set 3, Arkansas stormed back to win set 3, 25-21. And they're up 2 here in the 4th.
And a really nice job by Arkansas getting Missouri out of system in that moment. Kylie DeBerg trying to set up the opposite pin. Leaves it a little bit too tight. Taylor Head able to go get that kill. Adding an ace there.
Kill, then ace for Head. That's her second ace of the match. Overpass. Gillen puts it away.
You love to see the synergy between the two outsides. As soon as Gillen gets this kill, look who she turns to. She goes straight to the server who helped her set up that moment. And you can tell they're picking on Kylie DeBerg right now, passing the ball.
Well, right now, Missouri is not handling the adversity very well. And Jill Gill and the Razorbacks are loving it in Columbia. Missouri still up 2-1, but on their heels in the 4th.
Claudia Dillon across the net, and so you just got to get it a little bit higher to go over top of her to place the shot, not into her.
Each team with 5 blocks. That one's going to be out, and Mizzou now trying to build up a little bit of a run here to get back here in the 3rd set.
And it's the right run going to Devin Wheeler, but Devin Wheeler is ahead of that set. So she's having to reach back for it, and so it's not as powerful. She needs to wait a little bit longer, allow Gracie Ryan to set her up before going up to attack.
Set for Gillen, block Mizzou. And there's a kill for Wheeler.
A good run by Gracie Ryan. We talked about this earlier. You have an attacker make a mistake. You go right back to them, this time on a slide behind you, all the way out to the antenna. Wheeler's able to cut it back cross court for the kill. You appreciate that as an attacker, having your setter go back to you after a mistake so you can right the wrong.
DeBerg. They tried DeBerg 3 times. 3rd time was not the charm. Point Arkansas.
And that's the question for this Missouri team. You have Tiana Omazic go out with the ACL tear. Your offense becomes very one-dimensional in tight situations. Everyone expects you to continue to go to the well, which is Kylie DeBerg. Can you run? I mean, it works so often, it makes sense. But for Missouri, the next step, Eric, is finding other offensive weapons in certain rotations so they don't have to set Kylie DeBerg 3 times in 1 point, hoping that she gets the kill.
Now they've got her back on the service line where she did some great work earlier. Point for Missouri. DeBerg ran off 4 straight aces in the 3rd set. They get a run like that, they'll be right back here in this set.
There's 2.
Take it any way you can get it.
What do you bet she hits a 3rd? Are you a betting man, Eric?
I'm not, Katie. Are you betting woman, Katie?
Only on horses.
Miss Louisville. That ends it for the DeBerg scoring run. Point for Arkansas. (16-12) Arkansas. They dropped the first two sets, battled back to take the third. They've been in control here in the fourth. Gillen with a strong serve, but a strong response by Missouri to get the point. We're about 15 minutes away from the return of MACtion here on ESPNU. MAC college football season gets started. Bowling Green at Toledo. That's coming up top of the hour when we're done here in Columbia. Overpass, easy point for Missouri. Coming back here in the fourth.
And here you go. You get an overpass, which breathes life into you, breathes some confidence. And now we're at a 2-point game.
Net violation, point Missouri.
Nice try there by Gracie Ryan. She turns towards the net on the tight pass to set up the right side. Unfortunately gets called for the net. So here's a matchup you might want to look for. You've got Claudia Dillon back to serve for Mizzou. If Gracie Ryan's able to set up the outside, do you tip it over the block to move Dillon?
Point Mizzou.
And Dillon's creeping up to make sure that she does not get beat on that tip underneath the block. Honest by moving things around, running other offensive players so that you don't become one-dimensional in your offense.
Just to clarify, correct myself, 22 is her season high. She did it twice, including against Kentucky last week. And 27 is her career high, came last year against Florida. (16-all in the fourth. Fuentes with the set, deflected out of play, and for the first time in the fourth set, Missouri has a lead.
And I don't like that decision from Gracie Ryan, who does such a nice job. There's a miscommunication. She goes to Devin Wheeler there, who has to tip the ball over, which is just a free ball situation, essentially. And so Fuentes is able to run in tempo back to the outside for the kill.
5-0 run here for the Tigers to go in front. That run ends. Point for Arkansas.
And that's a really nice job by Joe Gillen in that moment. From coming inside, working her way inside, and getting the kill across the net for a block that wasn't pushed over. It actually was Taylor Hill.
Good block for Arkansas. That's their 6th of the match. And it puts them in front.
Here's a net look. Look at the press over by the freshman. Good closeout by Pamphile. Big momentum block there for Arkansas.
Dixon looking back at the official, perhaps seeing if it was tipped. It was not. So Arkansas has the point on the attacker, although it looks like it's going to be challenged. So the call stands. No touch. Point for Arkansas. One challenge remaining for Missouri. Unless we get to a 5th set, and each team will be given an additional challenge.
What does that make us? 2-0 for the night?
On the challenges?
Right on our challenges?
If you're keeping score, I'm fine with that.
We're always keeping score.
So there's another kill for Kylie DeBerg that will match her season high. She's at 22 for the 3rd time this year. Fuentes. Service error.
And so when you get late in matches, that's the time that you don't want to see any unforced errors. Every possession is so important, whether that be from the service line or as an attacker. Just a free point there for Arkansas, who already has so much momentum building.
The 10th service error for Missouri. Tigers come back to get the point to bring it back within one.
That's a really nice job by Dariana Hollingsworth-Santana getting that kill on the outside there before Kylie DeBerg rotated up in the front row. She's been huge for this Mizzou team tonight, stepping into a role that we haven't seen her in the last 4 matches.
12 kills now for her on 29 swings. Point Arkansas.
And that's a nice job by Taylor Head. She is way out of system in this moment. She's coming inside, going to roll shot. You would hope that Missouri would be able to pick up on that in that moment, that, hey, they're way out of system. She's going to manage that situation and look to place the shot.
DeBerg with a strong swing to get another kill. That's number 23.
So this is the tricky part. You want to keep blockers honest. But at the same token, if I'm Kylie DeBerg, I'm telling Fuentes, set me the ball every single time. And if I'm Fuentes, I'm going over to tell DeBerg, I'm setting you every single time to win this match.
Jill Gill winds and fires. Deflected out by Missouri. Point Arkansas.
Really nice job by Gillen, turning that ball down the line, finding the block, going over the top. She just has such a great range. She can beat you cross court, she can turn it down the line. She has shots in her toolkit to roll it, tip it, tool the block. She's the full package.
15 kills, hitting .302, 22-20 Razorbacks. DeBerg with another kill.
Great job siding out in a high-pressure situation. Now you need Hollingsworth-Santana to be able to put together a run with her serve.
Another big rip by the sophomore. (23-21). Arkansas with the lead. Ryan with the serve. Service error out of the timeout.
You hate to see that in that moment, but it's all right if you're Arkansas. You have a quick meeting, settle down, make the pass, side out immediately. Don't play around here. You have to have a good pass to side out immediately.
Missouri has tied it here in the fourth.
And that's tricky because Gracie Ryan's back row, so she can't jump in that moment to actually contest and block that overpass. Most likely, had she not jumped, it would have resulted in a kill anyways. But now you've got a situation tied at 23.
Arkansas was up 13-6.
Increased their numbers, and they've really turned it on from an offensive standpoint. Can that continue here? If you're Arkansas, you have to stick this pass. No overpasses, no shanks. You don't want your setter, Gracie Ryan, to be running out of system. And who's behind at the service line? Oh, by the way, Kylie DeBerg, who rattled off multiple aces because her serve is so potent.
She had 4 straight aces at one point in this match. Blocked out of play. Arkansas responds. They get the point, and it is set point for the Razorbacks.
Huge pass by Lauren Evans, the libero for Arkansas. It's not a 3 pass where Gracie Ryan can set all 3 positions, but it's just good enough to be able to put up a really nice set to the outside for the kill.
Arkansas had who they wanted on the service line. Gillen, saved by Missouri. And Missouri fights back to keep this set alive.
Just when you think Mizzou is on the ropes and out of control in that moment, they're able to free ball it over and reset. Nicely done by Dixon.
Got to win by 2. Now Arkansas scrambling off the Missouri serve. Chance here for the Tigers. Dixon with a hitting error will give the point to Arkansas and set point number 2 for the Razorbacks.
And you gotta love Jo Gill, willing her team to win here. Past the 25 mark, pushing girls around her. She's the type of kid that makes those around her better. And that's what you need from your leader.
Dug out by Mizzou. Set by DeBerg. Kept alive by Missouri. Another chance for Missouri. Gillen with the dig. And then a hitting error will tie things at 25. If you're tuning in looking for Bowling Green and Toledo, the start of Maction tonight, we're going to start that over on ESPN News as we go over here between Missouri and Arkansas. It did not look like we'd be at this point. It looked like Missouri was going to run away with a 3-set win, but Arkansas has fought back. And now Missouri in the 4th set battling back to tie it at 25.
That's a gutsy play.
Arkansas.
Really gutsy play. Gracie Ryan, you're off the net. Not a perfect pass, but a good enough one to run your pins. And yet you decide to go with Liz Pamfield for a one-on-one. She's able to cut it right on the line. Huge, huge execution from Arkansas.
Set point number 3 for the Razorbacks. Arkansas has come back to force a 5th set in Columbia. And all the momentum's with the Razorbacks. They win it 27-25. Out for the year with an ACL injury. Like to remember Monet, outside hitter, COVID opt-out. And then Jada Newsom, a setter, unable to play with a broken hand. So only dressing 10 here today, and they've played 9, and they've really relied on DeBerg as we get going here in the 5th set.
Great defensive play.
Real long rally to start this 5th set.
3-ball situation. Oh.
Fuentes can't finish it, and the point for Arkansas. Reminder, MAC football between Bowling Green and Toledo is starting on ESPN News. We'll get you to it here on ESPNU once we're done with this set. This is the 5th and final set between Arkansas and Missouri. They keep feeding DeBerg time and again. They'll do it one more time. And it finally works out for Missouri here. But I think that's 64 swings here in this match for Kylie DeBerg.
Yeah, and so you wonder, right? On one hand, she gets the kill, and so it is effective. But on the other, your offense is becoming very one-dimensional. And to answer your earlier question, Eric, in sets 1 and sets 2, it was more balanced on Mizzou's side. Andrea Fuentes was running Anna Dixon. She was running Dariana Hollingsworth-Santana as well as DeBerg. So it was keeping the block honest. And then you have to give Arkansas credit. They started playing phenomenal defense. And so yes, DeBerg was getting her kills here and there, but they were digging half of them up. That was really giving them a lot of confidence and momentum on their side. And so I think that this is twofold. That Mizzou has become a little bit one-dimensional and constantly setting DeBerg when she's in the front row. And then 2 plays like that, yes, it goes out, but Arkansas is getting so many touches on the ball. They're keeping themselves in this match because of the defensive play.
And the turning point really was when DeBerg was serving. She had 4 consecutive aces in the 3rd set. She's serving right now for Mizzou, and it put Missouri up 13-7. Arkansas had taken the timeout to try and cool her off. Eventually, Arkansas settled down, battled back in that third set, won it 25-21, came back and won set 4 27-25. But right now, Missouri trying to separate themselves. Remember, we played a 15 here in this fifth set, and it's a quick early lead for the Tigers.
And it's a nice start by Anna Dixon, who's swinging from both the left side and the right side in this match because of some rotational changes that Mizzou has had to make. If they can continue to feed her, that's going to be an advantage for Mizzou. And so you're seeing Mizzou right now kind of steal back some of that momentum that we've seen in the hands of Arkansas.
Timeout called by Arkansas, down by 3 in this decisive fifth set. Can Jill Gillen and Arkansas battle back here in the fifth? They've fallen behind 4-1 at the Hearn Center. Eric Freed, Katie George, and our crew. 5-setter here between undefeated Arkansas, 4-0, against Mizzou, 2-2 on the season, ranked 9th in the latest national poll. DeBerg, big swing from the back row, and Mizzou is rolling now in the fifth.
And here's the deal. If you're Arkansas, you have responded time and time again to get us to this point, to 5 sets. Can you respond again here to start this fifth set with a good pass to side out? And it is just so tricky because Kylie DeBerg's serve is so hard to manage. She's contacting it at a really high point, something that most past teams are not used to seeing because she is 6'4". She's got so much power and tempo behind it as well as float. And so you really need to see these passers for Arkansas stick in there, put up a good ball so Gracie Ryan can run out of it. There it is.
Serve has been a handful for Arkansas. DeBerg has matched her career high with 7 aces. That one drops in, and this run continues for Missouri. 7-0 scoring run.
So this is the tough part, right? Arkansas has put so much into it, emotionally, physically, mentally, to push this game to 5 sets, to win set 3 and to win set 4. Do you have enough gas in the tank to be able to come back from this kind of deficit now?
Well, Arkansas may want to think about another timeout to try again to cool down DeBerg. She gets another ace. That's 8 aces, a new career high. She had a total of 6 aces in her first 4 matches this season. Well, good job by Ryan in tight quarters at the net with the set to stop the run.
Good job by Ryan pulling that off the net. Devin Wheeler tips it over in the block to stop the bleeding. Now this is key. You can't let Missouri side out easily. You have to go on a run here if you're Arkansas with your serve.
They had the player they wanted to, Gillen with that big serve, but again, feast or famine sometimes for the sophomore, and it's service error, the 9th for Arkansas. Ryan sets it for head.
Great defensive play.
Good defensive plays on both ends for this point. Dixon. And DeBerg, miscommunication with Dillon, and a gift for Arkansas.
And that's the next step for Kylie DeBerg. She already does so much, don't get me wrong. She's scoring from the service line, all over the court attacking, but she needs to communicate a little bit more. She needs to be the leader in charge, running the show for her team. So there's no question about who's going for the ball.
Gillen with the dig. That one's dug out, looked like it was heading out of play, but it's played by Missouri. Fuentes sets it off the hand of head and out of play. Point Mizzou.
Nice job by Dixon, showing tip, just trying to keep the defense honest. And right there, Taylor Head, you did a nice job reading it. Just stay in control of your body. Don't just throw your arm out there. put a nice firm platform out there to keep that ball alive.
18 kills now for the transfer from Kansas State, Anna Dixon.
Really nice
That one's
set.
deflected. Hollingsworth Santana with the kill.
Really nice job by Andrea Fuentes, going parallel to the net to set the right side for Hollingsworth Santana. The momentum shifts so quickly from side to side in 5 sets. And so I've seen plenty of teams come back from this kind of deficit, but you have to put together a couple of big runs to rattle off a couple of points and close this gap. And you got to do it now.
It was an 8-0 run for Missouri that's made the difference so far here in the 5th set. Mizzou serving with the lead. Blocked back and a good response by Arkansas to get the point out of the timeout.
A nice momentum play from Taylor Head and Liz Pamphile on the block. Can you build off of that momentum? String together a couple of points here.
Durgill. Oh. It sat on the net for a split second, thought about falling over, but instead it's a service error for Arkansas.
I mean, it wanted to. It wanted to. Are you kidding me? I mean, it doesn't get closer than that. I've never seen it sit on the net like that.
Another kill for DeBerg. That matches her career high. 27 now for the senior.
She's been so strong, so steady, so consistent throughout this entire match. Through the highs and the lows that have happened on her side.
Service error for Missouri keeps the door open for Arkansas. Taylor Head, freshman, has had another really good match for Arkansas. Battle right at the nets. And the point goes to Missouri. Match point for the Tigers. Arkansas out of timeout, so it's in the hands of the players on the floor. Missouri serving for the match. Who else but DeBerg? Good fight by Arkansas on that point. Looked like DeBerg had a chance to put it away, but again, the Razorbacks hanging tough to get the point.
We'll live to see another day. Can you be bulletproof and make a push here?
Gillen. Try Gillen again. Missouri for the match. That is probably the fitting ending because Dariana Hollingsworth Santana stepped up in a big way for Missouri, and she puts it away for the Tigers.
She was huge for Mizzou tonight. Getting the start after being a serving sub. She was reliable, she was consistent, she was lethal on the right side. You got to hand it to Arkansas for making this interesting and showing a great deal of fight and resiliency to push this thing to 5 sets. But a huge response from a top 10 team who was on the ropes at home to put it away in a big way in set 5.